Hey guys, it's Wolf0305 here. We're here talking about Bitcoin actually. Well, it's a subsidiary of Bitcoin. It's this thing called Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, and it's a trust that basically holds the value of Bitcoin for you so you don't have to actually trade the actual coin. The best part is that you can own the coin indirectly, which means that you don't have to store it on a flash drive, you don't have to worry about losing a password, you don't have to worry about hackers per se. You just need to worry about the one fund that holds it for you. Also, they seem to hold the value of the Bitcoin pretty well. And if you look at the statements of how this trust is set up, it's been in use for over a few years now, and it's actually tracked the value of Bitcoin pretty substantially. It's gone up with swings up and down, and there's a premium that you have to pay somewhere around 5% because of its easeability in use. However, it's actually able to be used in your benefit. That means when Bitcoin 10x's, this share could actually 11 or 12x. With that being said, there's always risks, so please take that with a grain of salt. Now, with what countries have been doing recently, they've been forced to print out money like never before. So there's countries all around the world that are basically printing out all types of currency just in order to keep afloat. It's been widely regarded even as digital gold, which I don't know how you wanted to read that, but it's always been considered a speculation play. But there's also some math behind it. When you look at how much the governments are printing, especially just the U.S. government recently, they printed out 2.3 trillion. And remember, this is happening on a European scale and an Asian scale and even in South America. Bitcoin's also been getting some approval from some actual countries, and even countries like Venezuela considered using it for their national form of currency. So it's actually possible that this could be used more regularly, and with digital payments becoming bigger, this could easily become something that is transactionally used and could be big. Imagine if credit cards were based on Bitcoin rather than the dollar. I'm not saying that's going to happen anytime soon, but I'm just saying it's a possibility. There's a lot to be excited about with this, but at the same time, you shouldn't get carried away. I wouldn't predict it to make you rich solely on a home run, but I would add some exposure just to give you some more diversity. You can see in gold even, it's been shooting up recently because countries have been printing more and more money. And Bitcoin has been following a similar trend for now. We don't know if they'll stay, but for now they've been following these trends. And if you look at those, it's probably hunched on the bet that the dollar and other fiat currencies are losing value as there are more and more printed over time, just due to simple supply and demand. Now, if you look at the chart also, it's been pretty nice actually recently. And if you look at the long term chart also, it's at a peak. Remember when everybody was putting their house on mortgage and things like that? All these kinds of crazy headlines when Bitcoin went to almost 20,000 a couple years ago. We're not saying that can happen again, but if it were to, you want to get in before it goes straight vertical because at that point it's more of a speculation play than an investment. If you want to just protect some of your assets and keep a hedge against inflation, this would be a good way to add some diversity. And if you actually looked at our Brad portfolio that we showed in the previous video, it would be a nice way to show some exposure and give you some distance from just federally regulated policies.